Hello and welcome back to Spøttrup Borg, where we are ready for the third group of the jousting event here today at this wonderful location in Denmark. My name is Håkon. I'm going to try my best to tell you what's going on and talk about the knights a little bit for you. But most of all, you should enjoy the spectacle. This is the son of one of the Polish knights, Sebastian. And this armor he's wearing is not just armor for kids. It's a true knight's armor made by a professional armorsmith. Look at the details and imagine this was made for a 6-year-old child. I think the boy wearing it now is 5 years maybe, but still. Look for this little boy in 10 years' time and he'll be back for us. Yep. And this is the standing after 2 rounds of jousting. In the lead now is Mr. Christian Brotz from Poland. He is ahead of last champion Ole Bach, who was the champion of this European Championship in 2016. Next is Clifford Marisma from Australia, an accomplished rider who we've seen earlier in Group 2. Same with Mr. Lukas Dutkiewicz and Mr. Clifford Marisma's wife, Renee Marisma. 6 is Raven Eastwood. And the last 2 will be challenged by riders in the group we're about to see. Because now the whole thing is about being among the 6 best so we can ride in the finals. And here you have the runners up for those places among the 6 best. Mr. Eddie Rigney, also called the Hitman from the United States. We have Miss Ida Røisland from Norway, my personal favorite. And you have Mr. Magnus Andersen from Sweden. He probably can't help being from Sweden, but that's okay. Another Polish man, Bartolome Kus. And we have from the United States, Mr. Steve Hemphill. He will be competing now, and he's more of a legend among the knights in the world. Our number 12 is Tommy Berg Riksheim, also from Norway. He comes from deep inside a fjord. So he is the wild card for this year event now. Mr. Sebastian Lubanski is also in this group we were about to see. And Åsa Svensson rode in Group 1, so she's out of the running for the 6 best places. Mr. Jean-François Baptiste is from Canada, from Quebec. And he has an injured shoulder, but is riding even so today. So it will be exciting to see him. Then we have 2 more Norwegians, Espen Ødegaard Jensen and Stian Tvenge. And last but not least, in 18, we have Mrs. Rose Martin from Holland. No, this is the last one. And now we are about to start with Group 3 in the jousting in the European Championships at Spøttrup Borg in Denmark. Right now the crowds are gathering and we expect lots of people to come and look at this amazing event today in the bright sun at Spøttrup. It's warm here, and imagine these guys sitting on the horses. They are wearing about 50 kilos, 30 to 50 kilos of padding and plate armor. Imagine what that takes when you're riding against one another in the lists, trying to hit the other one with the lance. Crowds gathering here, waving to themselves, looking forward to an event that is a show in a way, but it's also a sporting event. These guys are not show riders. Some of them are professional jousters, professional knights, in so much as they train others and they train horses, they breed horses. I'll get back to all of this later. For now, just enjoy this wonderful view of Spøttrup and the knights. Jean-François Baptiste, the bravest Quebec here, riding with an injured shoulder. We'll see how he does. The lance he's hefting is heavy, and it's made from Norwegian spruce. Tommy Berg Riksheim, I called him the wild card. Not a very merited knight, but still a clear contestant for one of the 6 places in the final. 26 years old, debut as a knight in 2018, then Corona hit and he had to take a break. Now we're getting ready for the first joust between Mr. Tommy, Sir Tommy, and Jean-François Baptiste. This is Jean-François Baptiste parading in front of the crowd. And here comes the other ones as well. In the lineup today, Jean-François, and we have Mr. I can't really see who that was, but I can see Bartholomew there. I can see Steve Hemphill out there. That's Steve Hemphill, a legend of the US Knights scene. He does. He trains Knights. Earlier today we saw Raven Eastwood, one of his pupils. Mr. Hemphill is 62 years old and has been doing this longer than most others. Very few points separate these knights in the battle for 5 and 6 place. So this is exciting to see who gets into the finals tomorrow. The Americans jousting here today, as well as the Australian riders we've seen earlier, they are all on borrowed horses, which makes their performance even more impressive. This is Bartholomew or Bart from Poland, looking splendid, riding probably a horse he knows well, since all the borrowed horses are Polish. Bart's horse is called My Joy. We'll see if he gives him joy today. Splendid they are together. And this is Tommy from Norway. I'm sorry, the last night was Sebastian from Poland, but still splendid looking. Now Jean-François Baptiste from Canada versus let's see, it's Tommy. Okay, here we are, ready for the first pass of 2 accomplished knights trying to hit each other's shield. That's the main point. They're not to knock each other out. They're not to hit each other's head. Least of all, they're not going to hit their horses. Great care is taken to make sure the horses are safe, as is the knights. Here we go, Tommy Berg-Riksheim versus Jean-François Baptiste. I think actually Jean-François with an injured shoulder. He broke his red lance on the shield of Tommy, and Tommy's lance is still the same. So this is a point for Mr. Jean-François Baptiste. Look at this replay. Watch as Sean's lance comes down. Yes, clear hit to the shield of Tommy. Mr. Baptiste is a true free spirit in many ways, and he also has Native American ancestry on his mother's side. He hefts his lance and gets ready. Here we go. And once more, hit from both. Look at this, both knights hit the shields and the lances break. Great stuff. It seems Sean's injury isn't bothering him too much. Let's hope it stays that way throughout this group. Every knight in this group has to joust every one of the other ones. So you'll see lots of passes here, lots of lances breaking. Here we go. Tommy and Sean. Third lance. And Tommy's lance is the whole. No, sorry, the Norwegian, of course, I should have known. The Norwegian is doing well, and his lance was the one broken this time. They greet each other like the gentlemen they are both. There are several passes in each match between each knight. They get 3 lances, sometimes some gets 4. But I'll try to guide you through where we are in the tournament. Here we go, once more. Tommy from Norway and Sean from Canada. Let's see. Great hits from both. Red lance is broken. One point for Tommy from Norway. Of course, quite happy. He would be. Comes from a small place deep in a fjord. Doesn't always get out to see other people, but when he does it this way, in full armor. We are getting ready now for the second couple of knights. That will be Mr. Bartholomew from Poland and Steve Hemphill from the United States. Sebastian, we can see here, Sebastian Lubanski. He's 40 years old and has been jousting for, hang on, I have to check my notes here. He's been jousting since 2010, and he was at Spøttrup in 2016 and has jousted throughout Poland and internationally. Steve Hemphill is, of course, a legend. Let's see their pass now. The red lance of Steve Hemphill is broken. The blue lance of Sebastian is, as far as I can tell, still whole. So that's point for Hemphill. But I think maybe he broke it against the hip of Sebastian, so there might be no points for that. Only the shield counts as a hit and parts around and under the shield. This is, of course, to avoid hits to the head and other parts of the body which are not to be hit, and also for the safety of the horses. Sometimes leather straps snap, then squires step in to help the knight adjust and fix his armor. This is handicraft. All this armor is made by hand. Once more, Steve Hemphill versus Sebastian from Poland. Look at the speed and the force as both knights hit. Here we go again. Oh no, Sebastian did hit. Mr. Hemphill, a legend, 62 years old, claims to have broken more than 1,000 lances. And been doing this since 2002, and he trains other knights like Mr. Raven Eastwood that we saw earlier today. Here we go. Another pass. It's quite high up from Mr. Hemphill. I think he hit the shield, but it looked like Sebastian got a knock to his head. There's never any real danger here because the helmet is made of plate or plate steel and can take quite a lot of beating. Here we go. Greet each other, gentlemen both. Here we go, another pass. And great hit from both knights there. You can see the kindling fly throughout across the sky in Spøttrup. Remember, both Steve Hemphill and Tommy are contestants for one of the places in the final, so nerves are tight during these passes. They're close in points, so now Mr. Bartholomew from Poland is getting ready to face Tommy from Norway. Sorry, that is Tommy versus Steve Hemphill. Tommy from Norway versus Steve Hemphill. The marshal is readying the knights. Everything is quite controlled here, except once the horses gets started, then everything can happen. Here we go. Oh, great pass from both, but it seems just the blue lance got broken. Let's watch the replay. Yes, the blue lance broken and the red is still intact. The lances are almost 4 meters long and they weigh 2.5 kilograms. And they have a bulb at the end, which the knight is supposed to hold under his arm. The judges look for any mistakes here, because it can be both dangerous and to both horse and rider if the lance is held in the wrong way. But of course, all of these, they know what they're doing. So the lances are couched, as they say, so they can ride against an opponent. Here we go. Tommy from Norway and Steve Hemphill. Both lances broken on this pass, which means both knights score points. Let's see the replay here. Great. No shortage of kindling in Spøttrup tonight. The lances are made in Norway from Norwegian spruce by the marshal, Mr. Egil Mo. Man, you can see standing in the middle of the list with his banner from Isle of Man. I'll tell you later about that. Here we go, knights are getting ready for another pass at each other. Let's see, Steve Hemphill versus Tommy from Norway. And I think Steve Hemphill takes this. He broke his lance against Tommy's shield. So I would think Mr. Hemphill got the better of Norwegian this time. And they ride up to greet each other. The sport of jousting originated in training for war. The knights would ride into battle sometimes with the sorry about that. Sometimes with lances, we can see, like the ones we see here, but they would more often than not use spears. But even so, they had to train, so they trained like this. Here comes Tommy and Steve once more. This time Tommy got the better of Steve, I think. Let's see, yes. Steve Hempel missed, and the Norwegian guy from the deep fjords, he took the shield of the American. Can't let people from the colonies beat us at our own sport, now can we? The form of jousting we see here is reminiscent of the 1400s, 1450, when this had developed more into a sport. Time again now for the injured man from Quebec, Mr. Jean-François Baptiste, an accomplished knight, well known throughout the scene, and Bartolomew Kus, a Polish champion. Mr. Kus is 34 years old. Actually, his birthday is the coming Monday. Let's see their pass. Oh, great hit from both. Great hit from both. But I think... Let's watch. Yes, Bartolomew from Poland, riding My Joy, broke his lance against the shield of Mr. Jean-François Baptiste of Quebec, Canada. Even if this style of jousting is 1400s, 1450, Bart's helmet is of a style that's about a century or two older, as is the rest of his armor. The knights are required to have an assembly, a composition of armor that is authentic in so much as it's like a replica of a known suit of armor from the time, from a certain time. And Bart has chosen a style of armor and a style of helmet which belongs to the 14th century, 1300s. Jean-François Baptiste has a much younger style. Here comes the pass. Both missed.
Det er altså en bedrift i sig selv, hvis hesten bare ved nogenlunde i den rigtige retning. At træffe noget, det er en næsten overmenneskelig bedrift, og når begge træffer på én gang, ja, så er det selvfølgelig derfor, vi skal være så begejstrede.
Bart consulting with his friends from Poland. The horses are supplied by the man we see on the right there, Mr. Christian from Poland. He is very well regarded in the world of knights. Here we go. Both lances broken. This is developing into a tight race for the 6 places at the top and in the finals. Bart has a shot at that one. I think John is out of the running for this final, for the place in the final. But still, like a valiant knight, he comes to the lists and faces his opponents in a brave fashion. Great work from Mr. Jean-François Baptiste. The banner you're seeing here is actually the 3 scale of Isle of Man. It is held by a friend of mine from Norway, Mr. Egelmo, who is the marshal of this field. His family, the family of Skanke in Norway and Sweden, I'll come back to it as you come. Another pass. The red lance is broken, the blue seems to be whole. Yep. Sean got a qualified hit. Mr. Bart missed, I think. Mr. Eglemo, I was talking about with the flag in the middle. He is a descendant of the Skanke family, which in turn is a descendant family of the kings of Isle of Man. Yes, that small island had its own kings, and one of the descendants is here today conducting or being the marshal of this tournament. We're getting ready for Sebastian and Tommy. Sebastian of Poland and Tommy of Norway, and they're away. And both hits, strong hits from both. Most of the first part of the lance is broken. Sebastian Lubanski versus Tommy Berg Riksheim. The man from the deep fjords versus a son of Poland. Good friends all.
Hey, moja boy!
Some of the knights we see here today are professionals. They work as knights. Others, like Mr. Sebastian, is an engineering and does this for recreation. He calls himself an amateur, but as we all know, an amateur is someone who really loves what he's doing. And I think Mr. Sebastian is just that. Here we go, another pass. Sebastian versus Tommy. Ah, great hit from Tommy. And he would, of course, since he's Norwegian, let's see the pass again. Tommy there. Lowering the lance just in time, and both knights hit each other. You can see the helmets don't have very much opening for the eyes to see through. And beneath you, when you're riding towards your opponent, you have a horse that's moving. So it's crucial to control the horse, to control your own body, and be absolutely sure where you're going to put the lance. Norway is not a country associated with knights normally, and actually there hasn't been where other countries in Europe has had jousting throughout the Middle Ages. We know only of a very few tournaments in Norway at the time. And also going back to Viking days, the Vikings would ride their horses to battle, but not actually take them to the battle. They'd get off the horse and fight on foot. That's Tommy Berg Riksheim there. I talked to him earlier, and he declared quite clearly that this is a sport of kings. It's not a king of sports, it's a sport of kings. And he said that in order to do this, you needed precision, control, and elegance. And I think he has all those things and more. great guy all in all. Sebastian Kuss getting ready for another pass against Tommy. They cannot start until the judges and the marshal have given the go-ahead. This is, of course, to make sure that the course is clean and that everything is ready for the horses. You can see on this side of the list, the long black wall you see in the middle of the picture here, a red banner sort of stretching along the wall. That is the counter list. It's there to make sure the horses don't shy away from the wall, which can be ruin a good joust. The horses are trained for this, but since the horses are different and since horses can be disturbed, you have the counter list to ensure that the horse stays in line. Here we go. Sebastian versus Tommy. And a miss from both. It's getting late in the day for these nights as well as everybody else. And it's been warm here in Spøttrup throughout the day. Both man and horse probably feels this quite strongly. Here we go. Traditional greeting from two friendly knights doing an incredibly difficult sport. Tommy Berg-Riksheim from Norway and Mr. Sebastian Lubanski from Poland. The people you see on foot throughout the track, the field, they are, with a few exceptions, Norwegians who have come down here to Denmark to help put on this show for the Spøttrup Museum and the Spøttrup Castle. We're led by the two brothers Mo. Getting ready for another pass now. Mr. Tommy Riksheim from Norway and Sebastian Lubanski of Poland. Here we go. Working the horse and hitting. Both knights hit the shields and both broke their lances. But I think Tommy's lance is more broken than Sebastian. Let's watch the replay. Here we go. Yeah. Sebastian's lance glanced off the shield, whereas Tommy's broke directly onto the shield. This should mean that maybe Tommy is ahead of Sebastian in the contest to be in the final tomorrow. They are quite close in points. Bartolomew Kuss now from Poland, getting ready to face Steve Hemphill versus Jean-François Baptiste. A contest there between two neighbors, Canadian and American. Remember, Sean has an injured shoulder, but he's still here to face his opponents. And I think actually Sean scored a hit, but Steve Hemphill missed the shield. So we can see, even injured knights can beat a legend like Steve Hemphill. Yep, the blue lance strikes the shield and the red one misses. Canada getting the better of the US. Popular back home, I'm sure. I'm told now that his shoulder has actually been out of joints, but it's been put back into place, and he's here riding against the legend from the United States, Mr. Steve Hemphill. Sean himself is not without merit and has taken part in several tournaments, both nationally and abroad. Earlier today we have seen Ole and Åse from Denmark, a married couple along the list. Here, let's see this pass now. Great stuff. The blue lance broken against the shield of Steve Hemphill means Jean-François Baptiste has scored another point. We've seen one married couple from Denmark, Ole and Åse, and we've seen another from Australia, Renee and Clifford. And also Mr. Steve Hemphill and his wife is here as well. So 3 married couples that have jousting as their hobby and recreation. Something to think about for all of you that are married out there. What a way to resolve marital conflicts. Steve Hemphill versus Jean-François Baptiste, readying each other for yet another pass along the list. That cameraman seems particularly fond of these 2 ladies, and I can see why. Beautiful girls from Norway. Here we go. Sean versus Steve Hemphill. Let's see. Oh, that looked serious. Steve Hemphill was hit. Let's hope everything is okay. People rush to help him and see if everything is okay. He's hurt, but he's giving a thumbs up. Since the lance went under his arm. I think the horse was moving up and down quite a bit. They are supposed to try and stay level, but things happen. The 2 guys talking it out, making sure no bad blood is between them. And you see Clifford Marisma there helping out with horses and being squire to Jean-François Baptiste, the man with black and white there. Here we go, Jean-François Baptiste versus Sebastian Lubanski from Poland. 4 passes between these 2. I'm sorry, it's Steve Hemphill and Jean-François Baptiste once again. And this was a hit, one more hit from Jean-François. Looks like the legend is having a tough time out there today. Sebastian Lubanski is getting ready to meet his countryman from Poland, Bartolomew Kus. These are friends in every way, and they will now joust against each other here at Spøttrup. Here we go. And maybe it's a training pass, but I don't think so. Bart has been doing jousting for 7 years now and has taken part in a games called Games of Fire and Steel in Poland in 2016. And he jousted as the third best knight in Australia in 2019 in what's called the Abbey Medieval Festival. As his friend Sebastian, he's an engineer by trade. But he, in his vacation and his spare time, he puts on a suit of armor, gets up onto a horse, and rides against his friend with a 4-meter wooden stick, trying to hit him. Something to think about for everyone there. The marshal is ready, the knights are ready. There we go. That was a hit from the blue lance, Bartolomew versus Sebastian. And Sebastian also hit, so this is a double hit. No, sorry. Sometimes I'm fooled by what I'm seeing, but this was Sebastian breaking his lance against the shield of Bart. So points for Sebastian there. At an event like this, the welfare of the horses is quite important. That's why a veterinary is checking them every day to make sure nothing is wrong. This is something all the people on horseback take very seriously. The horses are not some tool, it's a part of what they do. And the love for horses is something they all share. Sebastian tried an early start there, and the pass was stopped. Here we go. Great hit from both. But the best hit was from Bart. Here we go. Yep. Only the tip left Sebastian's lance, whereas Bart's lance was more or less broken. These lances are made from Norwegian spruce, and they are linked, separated, so that if they break, when they break in a safe way, so as not to injure horse or knight. Here we go. Bart and Sebastian from Poland. Yes, Bart struck with his lance. The tip flew off. So I think maybe Bart has gotten the edge over Sebastian in this duel. Here comes a duel that I'm really looking forward to. It's Tommy from the deep fjords, and he will face Bartholomew from Poland. Two countries never been at war with each other, and we're always friends when we meet. This image is of Jean-François Baptiste. Bartholomew is waiting for Tommy to get ready. Two Norwegian contestants in this joust here today. Tommy and the lady Ida Reisland. Bartholomew being declared the winner of this bout between him and Sebastian. Here we go. Tommy versus Bart. And both knights hit. And I think actually Tommy from Norway has the best hit. Let's see the replay between these two. Tommy was the most scoring knight in this bout. Bartholomew Joust, not sure how to pronounce Polish surnames, I'm sorry. And Tommy Berg-Sørem. Sorry. Here we go. Tommy versus Bart. And that's... The red lance of Bart is broken, as is the blue lance of Tommy. I think both knights scored equally well there. Earlier today we have seen lances that have been far more broken than these, but this is great stuff from Tommy and Bart. Tommy and Bart going at it again. Let's see. And they both missed. You can hear the disappointment in my voice. I want to see broken lances and splinters of Norwegian spruce flying through the air here in Spøttrup today, as I'm sure you want to see as well.
til krigen, når det virkelig gælder. På turneringsbanen, der må man gøre stort set alt med modstanderen, men hesten er fuldstændig fred. Man må ikke under nogen omstændighed skade hesten. På slagmarken, der er en anden.
Here we go. Tommy and Bart once more. Ah, great hit from both knights. And Tommy's lance, there's only about a meter left. Bart's lance is much more whole. Look at this. The whole lance broken into 4 pieces. I'm sure the Norwegian takes this home. Great. Both contestants 1 extra point for a great pass. We're getting ready for a new pair here. That's the injured Québécois Jean-François Baptiste and Sebastian Lubanski from Poland. Sebastian is riding a horse by the name of Lucky. Let's hope this brings him luck as he faces what has proven to be a formidable opponent, even if he's injured, Jean-François Baptiste. Here we go, the first pass between these two. The red lance hit, Jean-François hit, but I think maybe Sebastian may get penalized for having hit too low. A bonus point for Jean-François for that pass and that hit. No points for Sebastian, I think. These two knights will be riding 4 passes at each other, but the next 2, the last 2, will only ride 3 passes at each other. This is so everyone has an equal chance at scoring points. Here we go. Sebastian versus Jean-François. Jean-François' lance is broken. Sebastian's not so much. Again, I think this was score awarded to Jean-François. An extra points for Mr. Jean-François. The calculating of scores in this event is a complicated affair, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to give you the final update when the event is over. But from where I'm sitting, I think maybe Tommy from Norway has managed to climb from 7th place and into the 6th, the group of 6 that goes on to the finals tomorrow. Oh, Sebastian and Jean-François. Blue lance broken, red lance intact. So score points for Sebastian Lubanski from Poland. Maybe not, because I think that hit was not within the area where he scores points. Sebastian Lubanski and Jean-François Baptiste thanking each other and riding off the field. We're getting ready for a truly exciting event now. Steve Hemphill rides against Tommy from Norway, and they've got it all to play for as both men. I'm sorry, Bartholomew Koos seems to be readying himself to ride against Steve Hemphill. Yes, Steve Hemphill against Tommy. Sorry, Bartholomew. Still exciting. Both of these two have a chance to become one of the 6 going into the finals. I believe Bart scored a hit on the grand old man. Yes. But Steve may seem to indicate that he was hit in the faceplate. Let's see the replay here. I would agree with him. It seems he was struck on the left side of his helmet. So I think Bart may have not scored any points there. Still, friendly handshake from the horse's back. We're readying ourselves for another pass between Bartholomew Koos and Steve Hemphill, a Polish knight and an American knight. The marshal shouts out his orders. The knights heft their lances of 2.5 kilograms. And here we go, another pass. And once more the blue lance of Bart hits Mr. Steve Hemphill, but his red lance also strikes the shield of Bart. So this means points for both of them. Clean hits on the shields. Once again, the knights shake hands like true gentlemen. Finally, for the last time today, we see 2 accomplished knights riding against each other in the list. This is Mr. Bartholomew Koos from Poland against the grand old man of jousting, modern day jousting, Steve Hemphill. Steve Hemphill seen here on his wonderful horse, and they're riding against each other for the last time in Spøttrup today. And once more, Steve Hemphill seems to have had quite a strong knock. But he seems to be okay. His lance is broken, so he scored points in this last run. I think also Mr. Bartholomew Koos scored points. Yep, there's the smile of Steve Hemphill. He's all right. Bartholomew Koos declaring himself the winner, greeting the crowd, thanking for their support. Let's see what happened in the last pass here at Spøttrup. Difficult to see what happened, actually. I think maybe Steve Hemphill hit himself with his own lance. Well, this is it for today at Spøttrup Borg. We'll be back tomorrow with more exciting action between the knights. And then we will have the finals, where we will finally declare a European championship, a European champion. Maybe it's Steve Hemphill, maybe it's Last year times winner Ole Bach. Maybe it's one of the other ones. Tune in tomorrow. I'm Håkon. Have a nice day.
Tak for jeres opmærksomhed.
Hvad gør du lige med mad? Skal vi lige have noget?
Vi har lige en lille